officially. Today we have qualifying and practice, and I'm starting my video in the car because they switched the order of practices, and I thought I was going second, I'm going first. So I jumped in line. I'm like set to be fourth out. I just need to get more confident in myself, the car, and the track. We made some changes that I'm hoping will help with that. Went up almost double in front tire pressure, and we also lowered the rear a ton. Like, I'm used to running this thing with 25 in the rear, and we lowered it to 18, and I might go lower because I was really just searching and wanting more grip yesterday. There was 0 toe in the rear as well, so we added an 1/8 inch toe in the rear. I really gotta get more committed on the throttle, have more confidence in myself, and just try and push it real fast today. I'm not going to do that many practice laps before we go into qualifying, so I gotta figure this stuff out. I'm excited. This day's been a long time coming, and I'm ready for it. It's going to be a good, humbling learning experience, and yeah, I'm just stoked to get out there. Feels so much better. I think that was my best lap, and it was my first lap out, which I'm usually someone that takes a lap or two to get comfortable. Basically exited the touch and go, and throttle everywhere is what I'm going to focus on with the left foot braking, but getting it. Man, it is getting toasty in here. Still just need to put together that sweeper after the touch and go. I'm just struggling to get it out consistently. That's still kind of what I'm gonna consistently focus on. I'm hitting all the other zones like surprisingly well, but messing up going into that sweeper from the touch and go just sets you up wrong for basically the rest of the track. So it's hard to kind of recover from that. So it's definitely a key, important area that I'm gonna continue to work on in my pretty little neon sauna box. Changes that we made helped a lot, and we're just continuing to lower pressures, which is blowing my mind. We already softened the suspension in the rear as well, so I just think it's so funny that when I first started driving this car, I was shocked by all the drip and very intimidated running like 40 psi in the rear, and now I'm like, drop it down to 10. We only have a few more laps of practice left. I decided I'm going to save tandems for tomorrow because there's only qualifying today, so I need to just focus 100% on qualifying. I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm controlling the car way better now out of the touch and go. That's what I was struggling with, so I just need to make sure that I keep doing everything else right as well. That was my last lap of practice. Next up is qualifying. Now we do get 2 runs, so that is nice. It's gonna be my first time ever qualifying, so I'm kind of freaking out. I know I'm gonna have some jitters on the starting line, but in practice, I've been using the lights and like really trying to just go, so I'm used to it and at least more familiar with the environment. But yeah, next up is my first ever qualifying in my drifting life. little nervous, but I'm also excited now. I'm starting to get more comfortable with the vet, and we'll just see how it goes. Adam's out practicing now, so I'm gonna go catch a few of his laps, continue to review my video, and just try to get in the zone. I forgot to give you guys an update on what we did for fitment. So my car is not looking super whack now. Look at the rear. If anything, it's about to crunch the fenders now, but I haven't had any issues with that, surprisingly, even with this much poke. I mean, it is raised about an inch there, so I wasn't too worried about it, but I have about 2 inches of spacers in there. And then for the front, total is probably about an inch. I don't know if you can see in there. I had to use 2 different ones because I wanted slip-on. I have extended ARP studs that were put onto my converted hubs that Drift HQ made for me. So I just wanted to work with spacers right now to get fitment dialed, and it worked. Qualifying is next. Surprisingly, I'm not one of the first people up. I thought I would be because I have 0 points. I've never done this competition before. I'm about mid-pack. That is next, so wish me luck.
Right now, coming up to the line, Collete Davis.
She's
Collete,
been looking really good today.
Yeah,
Watching her practice, she's been filling all the zones very fast.
yeah, that car's
Not much smoke because it looks like it's super gripped up.
Yeah, and I know that she was supposed to run the OKC event a few weeks ago, but they had
an issue with the power steering.
They had some issue with the car, so she was unable to compete then. So,
Yeah.
but she's out here today. She looked really solid during practice, so hopefully she puts down a nice solid score.
Yeah, so Kumo Tires, Celsius Energy Drink, and House of Pre is those are her sponsors from Oviedo, Florida.
And here she goes as she comes out on full throttle, initiating e-brake mid-entry, I would say, and a little left foot brake there. She's coming around the first outer zone. Pretty doesn't look too bad off that inside clip. Car's not too loud, is it? It's pretty quiet compared to all the other cars.
Yeah.
She's coming around deep into outer zone number 2. She's going to switch back right about now. Good quick angle, grab of the e-brake.
She's very technical with her all her corrections.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. And
Yeah.
especially with this track, there aren't many decel zones. The only decel zones that we have are the initiation.
Yeah.
And I believe right in between outer zone number 2 and 3.
So I still don't know my score. I definitely feel like I could have entered a lot more aggressively, but I was so nervous, and I just wanted to put a conservative run on the board, trying to make the show, because we did another qualifying to like really push it. And in addition to all my nerves, I wanted to try and play it safe. But yeah, I feel like I was just not that aggressive carrying throttle into the second sweeper, and my entry was kind of lame, but I'm playing it safe, just trying to make the show. I still don't know my score, so when I know it, I'll let you guys know. But oh my god, I am so glad that's over. Right before I was going to grid, my car wouldn't start. We had to jump it, and then when we were jumping it, it went into some safety mode and it turned itself off, and we were just scrambling. And then I get up there and an ambulance is coming through, so they had to pause everything. It was just a lot, in addition to it being my first qualifying of my drifting career ever. So it was a little wild. I'm just happy I put a lap together, and I still don't know my score, but that was wild.
This car is fairly low on power in comparison to most of the other cars out there.
We're confirming. They're trying to confirm whether she hit the touch and go with mid-wheel or the back of her bumper.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
There was just some issue with
Yeah.
the touch and go there.
Yeah.
Maybe we could pull it up.
I think that's going to be an issue all day, so that'll be the
Make or break section.
make or break section. To answer the Collette score, it was a 0.
Oh, really? Collette got a 0.
What a shame.
Yeah, that's.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Yep. So the zeros are if any one of the following events happens while you're making your qualifying run, or any run really, lead or follow, 2 or more tires off track, straightening or loss of drift, spinning out or opposite drift, opening of hoods, doors, trunks, etc., not as a result of contact, failure to be at the start line when it's your time to run, and of course, like what took out Collette was hitting a cone
With
the mid wheel forward, and that will also equate to a 0, as well as hitting a cone with the leading edge of the front of the car.
Well, I just found out that I got a 0. I'm so bummed. I've been like trying to take a moment to just calm down. It just sucks. So I got a 0 because I hit the cones in the touch and go with the center of my wheel. I haven't seen the replay clip that they were zooming in on and double checking because from the live stream we can't really tell. I was focused so much on the touch and go during practice because I was told that they judge very heavily on getting in there, getting out, and I tapped the cones, I hit them a few times in practice, but I was like, I will take that deduction so that they know I'm fully in that touch and go and I'm coming out. I had no idea it was even a risk slightly to be deemed off track by hitting those cones whatsoever. Adam had no idea either. He's hit those cones pretty hard before. Like, if I would have even known that that was a risk, I would have never pushed it into that touch and go. And I was trying to focus on just making sure I was in there and out of there. So that sucks really freaking bad because I wanted to really be able to go for it in my second run, not worry about zeroing out in the second run and see what I could actually put down. I'm super bummed. I'm bummed that I zeroed out. I'm bummed it was on a technicality. I'm mad I just didn't know in practice. And it's just funny because that is part that I was really working on in practice, to be solidly in the touch and go and shoot out. Gotta get over it. Now we know. I'm gonna do my best in the second qualifying to just put some score solidly on the board, but I'm just super disappointed in myself and the situation, and just I tried to be so technical and so safe. I said that, like, when I finished that, I was like, thank God, I did it safe, I got through it, and then to have that happen, it just drives me crazy. You live and learn. Now I know. So yeah, that sucks. Well, the second qualifying just started, and pouring down rain. So the track basically turns to ice. Everyone is spinning out. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I have no plan. I have no laps here in the rain. I just know it is like ice in the touch and go and on the transition to the last sweeper. I'm gonna do my best, but not looking that great, unfortunately. This is what I was worried about. This is why I was so stoked when I thought I had a solid run with points, because I knew that the second qualifying there was a big risk of rain, and we're here, so I'm just gonna do my best. That's all I can do.
So Collete Davis, so one of the drivers, a new driver to the Clutch Kicker series, but not a new driver to those people who follow her on YouTube. Definitely one of the popular people out here. So hopefully she can better her score of a 0 from the previous run.
She just needs to @Collete Davis on Instagram. Driving a Corvette as she makes her way through the first outer zone. She needs to hold it together. She wants to put down a score. Not too concerned about placing high, but just getting a score. So as she makes her way around the track, trying to stay nice and out wide as she goes through the second outer zone, she wants to keep it together here and not fall into that slippery zone at the beginning of the third outer zone. And she does. She holds it together. Looks like she got herself a score.
That was a smart run.
It was very controlled and very smart run. She got a score. She didn't set the world on fire, but she's going to be competing in the top 64.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the way to go if you're not 100% sure on how the track conditions truly are. All right, so Collete Davis with a 47. So she is definitely in the show.
All right, Collete will be in the 64 battle. And
I was literally like shaking on the line. Most of the runs that I watched before getting on the line myself, everyone was spinning out. So, yeah, thank God I have my Kumo tire grip that helped me out a bit. Definitely not like how I wanted to get in the show, but I'm in it, so I guess that's a plus. I'm definitely the hardest person on myself, and I don't know. I really wanted to have a better score than that. I'm just frustrated with how the day went. I'm trying to be positive, and the positive news is that I'm in the show, and I get more seat time. So tomorrow there is practice. I'll be tandeming for the first time here in the cars. I didn't do any of that today. I wanted to focus strictly on qualifying stuff, and yeah, we're in the show. I'm just a little bummed, but I can at least take a breath now and stop shaking. This is exactly why I wanted to just throw myself into a competition. It's the feeling that I just had on the line. Like my stomach was burning, and that's the feeling I gotta get used to, and eventually it'll go away and get more comfortable. But this was like a very drastic scenario of a lot on the line, but we made it. Now that I've pulled off a little bit, just to elaborate why I'm happy but also bummed about my score is because I'm probably going to be paired up with one of the top qualifiers. It goes lowest score, goes with highest score for the battles, and just goes on from there. I was just really wanting to make it through a first battle, and if I had qualified decently, that was going to be a possibility. I might be up against one of the top qualifiers. And those are basically FD level cars. Going up against an FD level car in my little stock Corvette doesn't give me a lot of hope, but what would be awesome and what would put a smile on my face is if I end up pairing up with Adam. Because then at least it's like, it's funny, and my first ever drifting battle to be against him would be cool, but that's why I'm kind of just disappointed. But at least we're in the show. That is a good thing. I am very hard on myself. I have high expectations for myself, and I'm competitive. So, of course, I'm bummed, but this is my first ever competition, and I'm trying to be positive and keep that in the back of my mind. But yeah, I'll get over it. I'm allowed to be a little sad. That's okay. I'm trying to give that to me. I feel like I am so positive on this channel all the time. We'll see who I end up battling tomorrow. I just hope it's Adam. That'd be really funny, actually. about to start downpouring again. Adam is going out for a sight lap, and then he can do his last qualifying lap. And hopefully we can get out of here before the storm hits. It's bad. It's looming. It's about to hit. Hell yeah. The sunset right now is wild. The storm is coming and the sun is behind it, so it's just this ominous pink sky. You can kind of see it right now in video. That is gonna be it. That was my very first drift comp experience.
Happy birthday! Take the shot! Put it here, put it here.